Hello everyone, this is Neer Singh from SecApps Learning. In today's video, we will discuss about the Beyond Trust. Like as you know, Beyond Trust is also one of the company which provides PAM services, just like the CyberArk. So in today's session, we will discuss about more about the Beyond Trust, like what is the Beyond Trust all about, what are the features or what products Beyond Trust offers, and little introduction about the architecture and the workflow, and also about the remote access, which is also one of the great feature of Beyond Trust, and also little comparison of CyberArk and Beyond Trust. So let's start with the today's session. Let me share my screen. Okay. These are the topics which we are going to cover in today's session. So in coming session, I will be uploading more videos on Beyond Trust. So this is all about the introduction, like what is Beyond Trust, what are the platforms or the products or the services offered by the Beyond Trust company, and then what is privilege, password, and session management, and then a little introduction on endpoint privilege manager also, because BeyondTrust also offers the EPM solution just like the CyberArk. Then about the secure remote access and how you can deploy the BeyondTrust and on which platform it is supported, what are the core features of the BeyondTrust, and also like what are the supported browsers, ticketing tool, etc. And also about the HA concept and single deployment also. So these are the topics which we are going to cover in today's video. So please watch the video till the last, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, because more videos related to the PAM tools, IAM tools, and some cyber security related are on the way. So soon we will be uploading more videos on the cyber security sites plus DevOps also. So please subscribe to this channel and share with your friends also. So let's start with the introduction first. What is Beyond Trust, or like what solutions Beyond Trust offers? So Beyond Trust is also one of the identity management company which offers the PAM solution. It also offers the endpoint privilege manager and also like cloud solution, and both active concept and also the active passive deployment. But it's quite different from CyberArk at all, because in Beyond Trust you don't need more than two or three servers, and some of the solutions are the SaaS based. In SaaS based, that is offered by the vendor itself. They will be managing the upgrade, patching, and maintenance of the servers. And one of the great feature in Beyond Trust is, let's say you are using some license in Beyond Trust. Those are also the user based license. If the users or the that endpoints which are not being utilized by a user, so after 45 days, default policy is 45 days, or you can decrease to 30 days also. So if that machine is not being utilized from Beyond Trust, so after 45 days automatically Beyond Trust will release that license. Whereas in CyberArk, let's say one user left the organization, and if you want to free up the license, EPV license, then you need to go to private ARC client and delete that user. But in Beyond Trust, in the Beyond Trust remote access, it's not like that. If that machine or that account is not being used from the Beyond Trust, so the license will be automatically released after 45 days. So that's one of the great feature in Beyond Trust we have. And also you can manually also you can just release the license. Totally depends upon the policy, how the client is asking you to configure the policy. But the if you will ask the main difference between the Beyond Trust and the CyberArk, CyberArk is more focused on the account, like privilege account access, whereas Beyond Trust is more focused related to the asset, the digital devices which are used in the organization. So that's the main difference, and mostly CyberArk is offered or the CyberArk is used for the uh, big projects like big fortune companies, mostly they are using, and for large implementation where you have large environment, you have more number of accounts, and you need more security, you need to deploy the in different locations. So CyberArk will be the best in those larger environment. Whereas Beyond Trust could be also used in the larger, but if you will see the trend and all the how the Beyond Trust is being used, mostly it will be like medium or you can say small environment. Though BeyondTrust is a US based company and it has lots of customer in Dubai and in Middle East, like, and more companies are using BeyondTrust because BeyondTrust is easy to deploy. If you will compare the implementation with CyberArk, is easy to deploy as compared to CyberArk, and also the cost effective. So both the PAM tools, the both the PAM products have the both advantage and disadvantage. So which we are going to cover in the coming videos, or also I will try to include in every slide, like what's the difference between the Beyond Trust and the CyberArk. But this video is more focused on the Beyond Trust, like what's the concept of the Beyond Trust, how the password management, the session recording, and how the Beyond Trust secure the password, and then what are the features, the core features by Beyond Trust has. So Beyond Trust is also one identity access management company which provide the password safe, or you can say the PAM, privilege access management or password access management, and also it does provide the Beyond Trust endpoint privilege management, or in short term you can say EPM. Then also it offers the remote access, which is one of the great feature. I have liked it. It's just like the using that remote access, you can easily manage the access of your vendors also and internal users also, and you can also record the session, and you can just revoke that license. As we discussed before, the license can be automatically released if you want, or you can manually release also. So that's the all about the Beyond Trust, and it does also support the like support for Windows or different types of operating system or devices. So using that PAM tool, Beyond Trust PAM tool, we can onboard those in Beyond Trust, and it does also provide some inbuilt connectors like for your Windows, for IBM WebSphere, and there are many more connectors which are provided by the BeyondTrust out of the box. And in BeyondTrust also we can use the auto IT scripting for automating the login process. So some of the features and the terminology are quite similar as compared to CyberArk, but deployment as compared to CyberArk, it's little easy in Beyond Trust because we don't need to build the different servers for every component. So that's the complete overview about the Beyond Trust, and this is one of the, you can say, the common architecture about the Beyond Trust. So this is the Beyond Trust appliance. So Beyond Trust can be also installed on the appliance. You can also install on premises and cloud, and it also offers the SaaS solution, which will be managed by the vendor, and operations will be managed by the Beyond Trust team or the client. So it offers both, and this is the common architecture and the, you can say, the workflow how the users will be accessing the remote client or their target machines. So this is the BeyondTrust user. First, you need to log in using the BeyondTrust URL, and there it will be having the internal firewall and the traffic. You can see these are the ports which are required to open. Generally, we don't open the port 80. Only 443 port is being used because that is more secure as compared to the 80. In 443, it's HTTPS, where we are using a certificate to for the end-to-end communication, end-to-end encrypted communication, so no other person or third person can see that communication or what's going on in that communication. And then it also have the firewall and how it is connecting to the using the remote, you can say we have RDP client in Beyond Trust, and also we have the jump point and jump client, which we will discuss in the coming slides. So in simple term, Beyond Trust, you can say it's a identity access management company which offers solutions like privilege access management, and where you can manage the privilege accounts. And same, we can have the audit recording, the video recordings, password management, etc. And then it also offers the endpoint privilege manager. Using that Beyond Trust EPM, we can manage the endpoints. And as you know, like many attacks are planned via endpoints, via laptops or the workstation. So if you are installing the Beyond Trust agent on the server, you can easily manage the access part. Whether whenever you are trying to install something or delete something, it will pop up, and you need to take the approval before removing any file or before installing anything on that endpoint. So in that case, it is managing the privilege, like least privilege, because as you know, motto is to have least privilege, and the user must have the least privilege. Otherwise, if their endpoints or the laptops or the workstation identities have been compromised, the hacker can just exploit the data which is stored in the endpoints. So that's why endpoint privilege manager is used to secure the endpoints by granting the least privilege. Whereas it also offers the remote access, which is a SaaS product, and using that remote access, we can install the jump client, or you can say jump points on the target machines, and then it will start reflecting in the Beyond Trust console, and users can log into Beyond Trust console via both, via URL also, and using the client also. It also provide the agent also. So one user can install the agent on his system, and after login with his domain ID, he can just get into that particular account, or we also call it as a RDP client, and also we have the jump points. From there, we will jump to that target machines. So in this remote access, that jump client should be installed on the target machine. Then only that target machine will start reflecting in Beyond Trust console. Otherwise, it will not reflect. So it's about the installing the client on the target machines, and then one person can use the jump option instead of the connect. It is having jump, and then it will just connect to the target machines using that console, and it will record the session and everything you can perform on that session. Okay, moving to our next slide. So what are the platforms or the PAM platforms or privilege access management platforms which are offered by the Beyond Trust? So first is privilege password management, or you can say the privilege access management, same thing. Because in the privilege password management, we are onboarding the accounts, and we can also discover the accounts, like how many privilege and non-privilege accounts are there in an organization. So there is a discovery feature. Using that discovery feature, we can scan the domain and we can find out how many privileged and non-privileged accounts are there in an environment. And same we can onboard in Beyond Trust. And then also we have the audit and the monitor privilege account and session of all types. If a user is connecting to the target machine, or whether he is retrieving the passwords, everything that will be captured in the Beyond Trust. It also have the vault safe. We call it as a vault. Just like the CyberArk vault, it's also have the password vault, where all the details, everything gets captured. And using that, you can just do the audit. If it's an internal audit or external audit, you can see like which user have performed the this activity or not. And you can download the reports also. In that, you can just find out how many users have connected, or how many users are logged in. So there is one feature which I like in Beyond Trust is, in CyberArk, when you log in CyberArk, you won't be able to see like which user have logged in. It will only show active user, 5 active user, or 6 active user, but it will not reveal that information, like this user is logged in now or this user is connected now. That we need to download the report in CyberArk, and we need to get it. We need to see, yes, this user was logged in on this period of time. But whereas in Beyond Trust, it's one of the great features they have. When you will log into that portal, you can see which users are active. It will show that this user are active, and you can terminate their session also. You have that option. If you are a Beyond Trust admin, you have the all the rights in the Beyond Trust. You can easily terminate their session also. So that's one of the another one of the great feature we have the Beyond Trust, which we didn't find in the CyberArk. Because let's say your client is asking, can you tell like how many users are logged in PWA in CyberArk PWA interface? If there are 10 users, so you can just see like there are 10 active users, or 15 active users, or 100 active users. But to find out the details like which users are logged in now, the name of that user or the email ID of that user, you need to download the report, or you need to use the REST API. But in Beyond Trust, if you will log into that portal, on that dashboard itself, you will see there is a system option where you will see like which users are logged in and how they are connected to the session. You can see that session also, or you can terminate their session also. So those things we have in Beyond Trust. So that's also like one of the great feature we have in the Beyond Trust, and that comes under your console itself. If you are an admin, you can just easily go through that concept, go through that options. Another is moving to endpoint privilege management. As we discussed, you can install the agent on the endpoints, whether it's Windows, Mac, Unix, or any network device. You can install it, and you can just provide the least privilege to that user. So if someone is trying to compromise that endpoints or the server or the workstation, so it will won't allow it, because that it's restricting the least privilege. It's not giving the more permission to that user. If someone will get the access to that account also, that user also, then he won't be able to do anything on his system. So that's all about managing the endpoints using Beyond Trust endpoint privilege management. Okay, moving to next, secure remote access. So this is one of the great feature we have, as we discussed. Like using this feature, you can easily manage your vendors, your internal employees also. So how you can manage it? Let's say there is a vendor, there is a third party vendor who want to access your internal servers. Your organizations having some servers, and you are hiring a third party vendor, and you don't want to provide them the complete access to the those servers. So, and you don't want like those users should be their ID should be created in Active Directory. So remote access provide those features. So what we can do, we have option also invite. Let's say your internal user, like your client, is set up all the access. So when you will just log into that machine, if you have if the admin have provided like invite someone, so client can invite the third party person, like third party, and they can join that session using their own IDs, using their let's say third party vendor is having its own ID. Let's say it's having something gmail.com, and your client is having something secappslearning.com. So the client from secappslearning.com, they can just easily invite that person using his personal ID or using his domain ID, which is a third party vendor email ID. So they can join that session, but they will not have any access. They can guide your client from the SecApps learning, and the third party vendor will be guiding them, and they can just perform the task for which we have hired them. So in that way, we can manage the third party vendors. And one more options we can have it. We can create a temporary ID in Beyond Trust, like in Active Directory. Temporary ID for that third party vendor in the Active Directory, and we can grant them the access. And how the access will be granted? Let's say there is a user A is there, and there is a third party vendor who wants to access that user A server, user, or you can say target server, that third party vendor wants to access it. So what we can do, we can set up their temporary ID in the active directory. We can add to the particular group so that that user will get the access to that target server. And then we will share the client or jump client. That jump client we need to download from the beyond trust console, because we have options like which client, whether it's a Unix or whether it's a Mac or Windows. So we have options. You can select that, which that depends upon your target server. If your target server is 2016, you can just download the jump client from the console, and you can share that console, that jump client with the respective team, because we won't be having access to the target machine. So that, or you can take the help of service management team. So what they will do, they will just install that client on that target machines. So when the client is installed or jump client is installed on that target machine, what will happen, it will start reflecting in the beyond trust console. Until you don't install it, it will not reflect in the beyond trust console. That's the difference. And then the third party vendor can log into the CyberArk, Beyond Trust console, either using the web portal or either using the client, because Beyond Trust also provide the agent. And just like the CyberArk, in CyberArk we need to install that private arc client, and we that is mostly done by the CyberArk team. But in the Beyond Trust, if let's say third party vendor wants to download that agent, so what he can do, he will get an option. He can log into that URL portal of that Beyond Trust, and there on the same page, on the home page, he will get the option download remote access client or agent. Then after he downloads, he can just log in. So that will be the connection going from the agent. So there are two options, just like the CyberArk. Using the private arc client, we can log into the Beyond the CyberArk portal or from PWA. But if you wanted to connect to the target machine in Beyond Trust, either you need to use the URL, like you need to log into URL, and then you will get a jump option. Then you will click on that jump option, it will automatically log in you to the target machine. And another option is you are having client, and from there also you can connect to the target machines, and all your sessions, everything will be recorded. That's your secure remote access. And using that, you can just manage your third party vendors, and also you can manage the your internal users also, you can provide them the access. That's your secure remote access. Okay. So going forward, moving to next slide, privilege password management. So privilege password management, or you can say the privilege access management. This is one of the solution, just like the CyberArk PAM, which is used to secure the password, like, and encrypting the password, and without permissions, no one will be able to see those passwords. And also recording the session, and also recording the audits. Every user activities will be recorded, and if someone wants to review it, they can log into the portal, and as per the permission, they can just check out the user activities or the audits that can be also performed using this privilege password management, or you can say privilege access management solutions. And in this solution, in the PAM, BeyondTrust PAM also offers, you can scan the domain. You can scan your network, and you can also find out how many privilege accounts are there in the organizations, and which accounts are not managed by the BeyondTrust. If that account is already there in the BeyondTrust, it will not just scan it. If it's not there, it will scan it, and it will give you the option whether you wanted to add these accounts in Beyond Trust or not. So similar, just like the CyberArk, we have account discovery. So most of the features are quite similar as compared to Beyond Trust and CyberArk. Then also it offers like your different types of connection or different accounts onboarding you can perform, just like your cloud, your SSH based account, network devices, and some database accounts as well as monitor and record live sessions. So as we discussed, like using this feature, like we have the inbuilt feature, so it will automatically record that sessions, and you can review the session. And if someone has done something wrong on the target machine, so always we have an option, we can watch the video recording, and we can see like if there is something critical or someone has done some changes, and due to that this issue is occurring. So we have that options also. And related to the compliance also, the audit trail, no one can just change that audit thing. If administrator also, like you logged in with the admin account, still admin account will not be able to change that thing, because that, you can say it's a temper proof. If someone wants to just make the changes, let's say by mistake one admin user logged into the beyond trust, and by mistake they made some mistake, and now they wanted to change that audit thing, they cannot do it. Though they are the admins, they have all the access, they cannot have the change, like they cannot modify that audit thing, it will be there in the audit. So that's, like you can say, the temper audit proof we have. No one can just temper the data or the audit or the recordings which are stored in the Beyond Trust. Okay. Privilege password management. So this is the workflow, the common workflow, or you can say the common architecture related to Beyond Trust password management, or you can say privilege access management solutions. So when a user is trying to access it, what he will do, he will just log into the Beyond Trust portal, the URL which have been configured, and then if the approval policy, if it is set up like after the approval only, he will be able to retrieve the password, or he will be able to connect to the target machines. If that is set up, then he need to go to the approval, and once the request is approved by the leads or the required team, then only the user will be able to connect to the target machine. And whether the target machine is a server, device, any type, mostly everything is supported from the Beyond Trust, just like the CyberArk. You can onboard any type of the accounts, and you can build the connectors also using the auto IT. Auto IT can also be used in Beyond Trust, and you can customize the auto IT. And then your sessions, everything will be recorded. We have the audit logs also. If someone wants to review those, so it can be reviewed if that user is having the permission, or you can download the reports also. There is a report feature is there, and using that you can just see like which user have done or which user have connected to the target machine or the device. So it will cover same, just like the CyberArk, it will have the recording and the monitoring, live session monitoring you have, and also audit thing. Endpoint privilege management. So this is one of the you can say feature, just like the CyberArk. In CyberArk also we have the endpoint privilege manager. So in Beyond Trust also we have endpoint privilege management. So the motto is same. Using these component, endpoints are managed. So you can install on the endpoints, and we can have the least privilege. Just motto is to least privilege, and don't want to let's say, okay, let's take the example. Let's say you wanted to install VMware on your company's laptop. So it will not allow, it will pop up until you don't have the permissions or that is valid from, and you need to take the approval, then only you will be able to install it. So it will restrict the privilege. In virtual machine you can install anything if you are an administrator, but in the company's environment you just need to take the approval, because everything we cannot install it. It could be a bug, or it could lead to compromise of the system. So that's why the endpoint privilege managers or the managements are being used. And using this you can install the client or the you can say agent on the target machine, whether it's a Windows or a Mac operating system, Unix, etc., even on also on your Active Directory. And using this, we can manage the endpoint. And we have different policies. You can set up the different policies, and using those policies, we can just manage the level of access available across the organization. Remote access. Remote access for employees anywhere, vendor privilege access management, or infrastructure access. So this is one of the great feature I have ever used. So whenever you are just trying to manage your third party vendor, so this is the best solution Beyond Trust offers, because it's sometimes it's like tricky when you wanted to onboard your third party vendor and you don't want to provide them the access, or you don't want to create their account in the Active Directory. So remote access could be one of the best feature. We don't need to create their Active Directory account in our organization. And instead of that, what we can do, we can connect to the target machine using the remote access, and then we can just invite those third party vendors if we have that permissions. So there, so those users, the third party vendors, can join that session, and you can just show, you can share your screen, and you can just show, you can ask them what to perform. So this can be done, and everything will be there, like it will record the session, and the third party vendor will not have any permissions. He can just view that, he cannot just take that session. So that security is inbuilt, it is provided by the Beyond Trust. So that's like one of the great features we have, and you can use that feature for your internal users also, because I'm not aware of the licensing part, but I think remote access license is quite like less expensive as compared to the CyberArk. But and it also have that feature, if someone is not using that account or that endpoints for 45 days, so automatically it will be removed from the Beyond Trust console. And if you wanted to use that account again, so you need to again install and jump client on that machine, and then only you will be able to use that account. So that's the remote access. And also one thing, so let's say there is one issue in Beyond Trust we have. Let's say you there are 10 users, and 10 users wanted to use the same account from Beyond Trust. Because we have the policies, we can create the jump group and the policies in Beyond Trust. So we have the different policies. So let's say in one policy you have configured it and you have created one Active Directory group, and you added that Active Directory group in the Beyond Trust console. So all those users who are part of that Active Directory group, they will get the access to the Beyond Trust console. And if they wanted to use the same account to connect to the target machine, they cannot do it if it's a jump point, because jump point don't allow the connection for more than one user. So if let's say you connected to that one target machines, if second user is using the same account to connect to that target machine, it will, second user will overtake the first user session. First user session will be disconnected. It will pop up if that first user will click on it, yes, take that session, then it will be taken by the user too. So to overcome that feature, overcome that issue, in Beyond Trust we have another feature which is RDP client, remote desktop client. So in remote desktop client, what we need to do, instead of downloading a jump client, we need to download a RDP client from the console, and that should be installed on jump server. And once you install on that jump server, so what will happen, that jump server will reflect in CyberArk, sorry, in Beyond Trust. And then you can use that jump option. There will be two options, one will be jump and one will be the RDP client. You need to configure it manually. Then you can click on that RDP client, and then you can connect to that target machine. So connections will be established from that jump server to the target machine, just like the CyberArk. In CyberArk we have the PSM, how the connection is going. When you click on the connect button, it will go to first PSM and then from PSM to the target machine. Similarly, in the RDP client, in the Beyond Trust, we have the RDP client where we need to use the jump server. So jump server could be anything. If your client is sharing, like you can use this jump server. So we can onboard that jump server in Beyond Trust. And how to do that? We need to share the agent with the respective team, that client. They will install that RDP client on that jump server. Then that jump server will start reflecting in BeyondTrust console. Then we can configure it under the target server. So when you will take the RDP client connection, so first it will go to that jump server, and from jump server it will go to that target machine. So that's like the remote access, or you can fix that issue where where 10 users wants to access the same account. So if you are using the RDP client in the Beyond Trust, you can have multiple sessions with the same account. Okay. Remote access, you can see this is the jump client we have. So jump client is something like, let's say your user is taking the connections, or bomb guard, you can see the bomb guard. So same thing, Beyond Trust or bomb guard, like these are the companies which are acquired. So same. So whether you are using the console, you log into that console, and then you are taking the connection. It has the firewall. It's a SaaS, so they have their firewall, and you can use your internal firewall also to whitelist and blacklist some of the IP addresses. And then you connect to the jump client. We call it as a term jump client instead of taking us RDP connection. In CyberArk, we have the connect button. In Beyond Trust, we have the jump option. So jump client are the agents which we need to share with the respective team. So let's understand with one example. Let's say there is a server A which you wanted to connect. So in that case, you will go to the Beyond Trust team and you will just share your detail, like these are the things we need to configure and we need to connect. So Beyond Trust team, what they can do, they will just onboard that device in the Beyond Trust and they can share the client. We have the client option, and that client should be shared, and then that user can install that client, jump client, on their server A. So once it is installed, it will start reflecting in Beyond Trust console, and then we can grant them the login access to the Beyond Trust, and they can just log in and they can jump to that machine. So that's the complete workflow, and that session will be also recorded. And also one more thing, we can have different jump clients. Let's say you wanted to that target machine is a Mac, so we need to share the Mac client with them. If that target machine is a Unix, we need to share the Unix. And whether it's a Windows, then we need to share accordingly which version it is. So that depends upon target machine. Password safe supported platforms. So these are the supported platforms you can see which are like offered by the Beyond Trust. If you wanted to uh, connect, if you wanted to install the Beyond Trust on premises or the cloud or the hybrid also, you need to use these servers, these operating systems. And whereas U series is something like it's a kind of series, or you can say the appliance, in which we have different RAM, different storage. So these are the U series. Mostly it's U series which is supported by the Beyond Trust. If you wanted to install, so these are the operating system. It also support the installation on server 22, Windows Server 22, which is the latest Windows server. Okay, moving to our next. So you can see this is the U series configuration or generation. You can see if you are going with the U400. So these are the different disk or the storage capacity we have, and one private and two public switches we can have. So these are the different series or the appliances we have. So we will be discussing in these things in the coming sessions. These are the browsers which are supported by the BeyondTrust, just like same like CyberArk, but CyberArk doesn't support the Firefox. But BeyondTrust supports the Firefox also and Chrome and Edge also. So these are the only three browsers which are supported by the BeyondTrust. If you want to access the BeyondTrust, you need to use these three browsers only. These are the ticketing tool which are supported by the BeyondTrust. If you want to integrate the ticketing tool, just like the ServiceNow, Jira, BMC Remedy, CA Service Test, so you can integrate it. Apart from that, there are no ticketing tools which are supported with the BeyondTrust, but these are the only supported ticketing tools. Okay, so this is the active model. So just like CyberArk, we have distributed vault. So distributed vault is something active model where every vault is active mode. If you want to connect to the your PVW, so what will happen? Let's say you are performing some operational task in your PVW, CyberArk PVW. So what will happen? It will go to the primary or the master vault, and from there it will be redirected to the satellite vault. Similar to the like quite similar, you can say in Beyond Trust we have active model where we have the load balancer. You can see this F5. So when a user is trying to access it, it will distribute the traffic. And we have all the servers in active mode. But we can also have the DR also. And that will be connected to the active server, and it will be just doing the asynchronous replication. Asynchronous replication is something which is not the active one. Let's say there is some data there on the server A, and your server bay is having the asynchronous replication. So what will happen? It will not replicate that data time to time. After some interval, let's say after 1 hour or 2 hour, it will try to replicate that data. But where in active thing, you have the same data is synced within less than fraction of seconds. So that's your synchronous replication. Let's say you have some new data, so within the minutes it will be replicated to that server. So in this active model also we have the SAN drive. So using the SAN drive only the failover thing is happening, and it's a storage area network. So your active nodes are using the same. And one important thing in the active model, let's say you have two active or the cluster. So you can have different Windows server. It's not mandatory to have Windows server. Let's say your production, your node A is on Windows Server 2012, and whereas your node B could be Windows Server 2016 also. So it's not something both should have on the same operating system. It could be different U series appliances or the operating system. So that's your active concept or active model in Beyond Trust. And CyberArk just support the distributed vault only on physical machine. It is not supported on the cloud. But this active model, this is supported on physical also and cloud U series also appliances. So that is supported by Beyond Trust. Process is same, the workflow is same, the concept is same. Active means every server is active and user wants to connect to it, so it's redirecting to the respective server so they can connect and they can perform their privileged task. Active passive model. So just like your primary server, primary and DR concept, one will be the primary, another will be secondary. So in Beyond Trust also we have the automatic failover, or you can say the switchover, and reverse also, like coming back to original state. Naming convention is different, like role switch, but it's the same only. Just like the CyberArk, we have automatic failover and manual failover and failback also. So when your primary is down, automatically it will switch to secondary. But one thing here, we are using 5022 port number to sync that. Let's say your site A and site B both are synced using the 5022 port number. So they are not using any 1858 or something that is being used in CyberArk. In Beyond Trust, it is 5022. That's your port number, which is used for syncing the data from primary to the secondary. Okay. And both should be identical. If one is failing, it will automatically shift to another. So that's your active and passive model in Beyond Trust. So in the coming session, where I will be discussing more related to Beyond Trust, and I know like many are just uh, reaching out to me for asking for the Beyond Trust course. So soon it will be there. So we'll update you guys, and let's summarize everything what we have discussed till now, and also like little difference between CyberArk and Beyond Trust. So BeyondTrust is also one of the identity access management company which offers PAM solutions, your cloud and SaaS, also hybrid also, and remote access also, and EPM also, just like the CyberArk. So main difference between the CyberArk and the BeyondTrust is if you want to deploy the in the larger scale, like larger environment, then mostly CyberArk is the recommended one because it has different components, have the different security and everything in a different like segregation of duties. We have segregation of components which are performing different functionality, whereas Beyond Trust is used for the like medium or you can say small scale environment, but in some countries, mostly in the Middle East countries, it's the Beyond Trust is being used, and they are using for larger environment also. Many banks are using Beyond Trust. In Beyond Trust, there is an automatic release of the license. We can, let's say, if you are not using a device, you are not using your jump server from the BeyondTrust console, and after 45 days that will automatically release, it will automatically release the license. But as compared to the CyberArk, we don't have the automatically release. If you want to release the license, you need to remove it. So that's one of the feature we don't have. And one of the feature in Beyond Trust is something managing the third party vendor using the remote access. Though CyberArk is also having the remote access, or you can say the LRO. Using that also we can manage the third party vendors. So it's quite similar. You can say in using the LRO also we are granting the users login to the what we say this remote access portal, LRO portal, and that is using a mobile application. They need to scan it, and then they will be logged into the remote access using their biometric. So most of the features are like quite similar, but they are, as you know, both have advantage and disadvantage. And Beyond Trust is also one of the great PAM tool, which is offered, which offers the same kind of solutions, and you can say it's little cost effective than the CyberArk. Okay, but both have their different market size, and both have the great opportunities in the market. So in the coming session, we will be discussing more about the Beyond Trust, about how the deployment is, how you can learn Beyond Trust and from scratch to production. So that's all about the Beyond Trust. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, subscribe to this channel. Coming in the coming days, we will be uploading more videos related to your cybersecurity, ethical hacking, VAPT, pen testing, and more. Like our motto is to cover every cybersecurity tools and need to bring everything under one roof with the uh, practical approach. So thank you guys for watching this video, and please share your friends if you like this, and thank you.